Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, Triple spreads to Connecticut. What does the Director of Student Health Services have to say about it?
Plus, the age you can buy tobacco products is rising. How will this affect Hamden residents?
And Connecticut is facing a tax increase. Find out exactly what products will be a little more expensive.
All this and more coming up on the Q30 Newscast. Good evening and welcome to the Q30 Newscast. I'm Kaylee Heffler.
And I'm Joe LaGrippo.
We start things off tonight close to home. A vintage World War II bomber plane crash-landed at Bradley International Airport in Windsor Locks this morning. The plane had only been in air for 5 minutes before the pilot reported a problem. The plane then crashed into a nearby building. The accident occurred around 10 a.m. and left 7 people dead. There were 13 people on the plane. 3 were crew members and 10 were passengers. Here's what Governor Ned Lamont had to say following the incident.
Remember, these are husbands and wives and brothers and sisters and children and all members of our Connecticut family. And we feel our hearts are broken for you right now.
The board will be investigating the crash. The investigation will take a few days. Recently, mosquitoes in some Connecticut towns have tested positive for Eastern equine encephalitis, known as Triple E. The virus has not been found in Hamden or North Haven, but Quinnipiac is taking precautions. Luca Triant has more on the story.
At Quinnipiac University, illnesses come and go.
Everyone is used to people coughing or sneezing now and then, but while allergies or the lower temperatures are shaking things up, a new virus has come to Connecticut, and it's a little bit more fatal than people might think.
Eastern equine encephalitis, commonly known as Triple E, has been tested positive in 17 towns in Connecticut. As of October 2nd, the virus has killed 3 people. However, locations that hold Quinnipiac campuses, namely Hamden and North Haven, remain Triple E negative so far. Philip Brewer, the University Medical Director for Student Health, said, quote, "The university, through the Student Health Service, is making available bug spray in the form of little towelettes that are individually packaged that students can pick up," end quote. But according to Connecticut's Department of Public Health, there are no medicines or vaccines to treat or prevent Triple E. They say the best way to avoid gaining the virus is to not get bit by mosquitoes active during both dawn and dusk, as these mosquitoes are known for carrying the virus.
But for many students, late-night classes, clubs, and other activities keep them up late on campus. Some students voiced what they wanted Quinnipiac to do to keep them safe from the virus.
Just making sure that everyone is using bug spray if we're going to be like going out to Sleeping Giant or anything like that.
The bug spray, I know they have free bug spray at the health center. That's pretty good. So yeah, they're doing pretty much everything they can do.
A statement released by the university on September 27th says that athletic and university-sponsored events that are happening during dawn and dusk hours will be rescheduled in order to prevent infection. However, it's unknown when the schedules will return to normal.
For Q30 News, I'm Luca Triant.
Starting yesterday, October 1st, Connecticut raised the minimum wage from $10.10 to $11. The law will apply to all businesses, but it may have the biggest impact on grocery stores because they tend to hire a lot of minimum wage employees. The plan is to have the minimum increase by $1 every year until it eventually gets to $15 an hour. Connecticut isn't the only state to do this, however, as it seems some others are on the same track, such as New Jersey, Maryland, and even Delaware. Minimum wage wasn't the only thing Connecticut raised. They also increased taxes on car trade-ins, digital purchases, prepared meals, e-cigarettes, and even alcohol. Many shoppers may not be aware of the tax increase, but it's just one of those things that people feel they're already being taxed on enough.
If you're under 21, it is going to be harder to buy tobacco products in Connecticut. You now have to be 21 or older to purchase these products. Kate Pattyfoot has more.
On October 1st, 2019, Connecticut and Maryland both have increased the age 21 to purchase tobacco products such as this, a Juul.
Early last June, Governor Ned Lamont signed the bill that would make the legal age to purchase tobacco and vaping products to 21.
Raising the age of 21 kind of shows a shift because a lot of products are now e-cigarettes, and that's kind of given access to individuals who are much younger than original tobacco users. So I think it will kind of help combat the issue of younger individuals using tobacco products.
According to the CDC, the rise in e-cigarette use during 2017 through 2018 is likely because of the recent popularity of e-cigarettes shaped like a USB flash drive, such as Juuls. These products can be used discreetly, have a high nicotine content, and come in flavors that appeal to youths.
We know from a public health standpoint, when you put in place policies that reduce the ability for people to use, that over time you see decreases.
According to truthinitiative.org, 15 to 17-year-olds are 16 times more likely to use a Juul compared with those aged 25 to 34. Senator May Flexer of Killingly said, "Increasing the age of being able to purchase tobacco products is going to dramatically cut the number of young people who start smoking in our state." Connecticut joins 15 other states and hundreds of towns to pass this legislation. I'm Kay Paddyfoot, Q30 News.
Vaping is causing lung-related illnesses in Connecticut and across the nation.
Juuling,
5 people in Connecticut were recently admitted to the hospital. That brings the total number of people hospitalized due to vape products to 18. The Department of Health reported that all of the patients who were hospitalized have now been discharged. But nationally, 7 people have died from lung-related illnesses linked to vaping. Patients in Connecticut were between the ages of 18 and 34. The Board of Health suggests avoiding all vape products. To learn more, visit cdc.gov.
Quinnipiac University Student Health Services began hosting flu clinics this week. The North Haven campus will have their flu clinics on October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The Mount Carmel campus will host the flu clinics October 8th all the way to the 11th in SC 119 and 120. And Quinnipiac's York Hill campus will host a flu clinic October 15th and October 16th in RTSC 310 and 311. Quinnipiac's nursing students are teaching healthy lifestyle skills to elementary and middle school students in Waterbury. They'll introduce lessons and reflections on what the students have learned so far in their courses. Waterbury students will learn behavioral management and coping mechanisms. The program begins October 3rd. QU students will teach and conduct lessons for the fall term. The Family Medicine Interest Group at the Frank H. Netter MD School of Medicine at Quinnipiac University was recognized as a 2019 Program of Excellence for its special consideration for collaboration initiatives by the American Academy of Family Physicians in Kansas City, Missouri. Quinnipiac's FMIG was one of 19 to win the Program Excellence Award for its outstanding efforts to grow and support in family medicine.
The Hamden Legislative Council recently authorized the town to apply for up to $250,000. The money is being used to repair sidewalks and curbs in Hamden. Roadways in Hamden are also being repaved this year. The Sidewalk Repair and Replacement Program will focus on damaged sidewalks in Hamden. Sidewalks being replaced have been damaged due to roots, vehicles, or erosion. The School of Communications has dedicated room CCE 116 to writers. The room is now a creative space. The new writing center has added 2 flat screens, TVs, 8 armchairs, a film archive with hundreds of films and scripts. Students and faculty attended the opening today, where champagne was given out to celebrate the opening of the writing center. Both President Judy Olean and the Dean of Communications, Chris Rausch, were in attendance.
When we come back, Quinnipiac students participated in a walk dedicated to raising money for Alzheimer's.
Plus, more on Trump's impeachment inquiry, tonight on Politics.
Hey guys, it's been really, really hot today, a high of 85 degrees. Let's look here. We are seeing a low dropping all the way down to 52 tomorrow. There may be a chance of raining, so be sure to bring an umbrella or a rain jacket to your classes tomorrow. And Friday, jumping up a bit back to 63, low of 37. It is getting much cooler, although today is a big exception. Hopefully we don't see these really hot summer temps again. It is fall now. We'll see what goes on for the rest of the week and next week right after this break. .
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
The No Excuses March for Education took place this past weekend. The march intended to inspire people to return to school and finish their degree. The event was held by the New Haven Adult and Continuing Education Center. Skylar Haynes has more.
Thursday, a march in New Haven sought to bring awareness to adult education services and the importance of going back to school.
It's really important to be able to ensure that we're meeting the needs of other people and kind of meeting them where they're at.
More than 1,000 teachers, students, and supporters came to the rally. One of them was Mark. He's been working towards his GED for the past 4 years and still remembers the first time he walked through the doors of the New Haven Adult and Continuing Education Center.
It felt good. It made me realize it was something that I want to accomplish.
His teacher spoke about how these services have turned people's lives around, saying, quote, "People like Mark, they might have been told they can't make it through. You have to change the mindset and let them know that they can graduate." And Mark just wants people to remember and be inspired by his own story.
Never too late to get your education and move on to bigger and better things.
With 1 out of 6 people in New Haven not graduating high school, community efforts like this give Mark and others the chance they need. This is Skylar Haynes reporting for Q30 News.
The Walk to End Alzheimer's took place this past Sunday in New Haven. The Bobcats in the community organization attended the event to help raise awareness for Alzheimer's care and research. Together, they were able to raise over $2,000, passing their original goal of $1,500.
Kayla, we had some great weather this week, but it doesn't look like that for this week.
You're right, Joe. Luca is out on the quad right now to tell us more of what we can expect. 30 students from Quinnipiac's Colleges of Arts and Sciences were able to travel to the 17th World Summit of Peace laureates. The summit took place in Mérida, Yucatan, Mexico. The summit brings together 24 Nobel laureates and explores many topics such as roles of women, human rights, and hunger.
Quinnipiac Public Safety responds to hundreds of arrests, referrals, and offenses every year. Last week, they released their annual security and fire safety report. One statistic that stood out to their students were 3 counts of rape reported on the Mount Carmel campus.
I personally did not know about the rapes that occurred. It's extremely unfortunate that something like this would happen. And coming from the perspective of a girl, it's really upsetting to hear. And it's so sad that it's so close to home on our campus that I walk across every single day.
3 counts of rape is the highest number in the past 2 years. Other than those 3 rapes, the annual security and fire safety report showed 3 counts of robbery and 3 counts of aggravated assault. J.K. Howe Minikawi, a professor of American Studies and affiliate faculty in anthropology at Wesleyan University, will be presenting the talk Indigenous People and Settler Colonialism, Refusing the Logic of Elimination in Connecticut and Beyond. Is being held on October 3rd in the Mount Carmel Auditorium. Sean Duffy, the executive director of the Albert Schweitzer Institute, said, quote, "I hope students and others walk away with a new vocabulary for entertaining these kind of ideas so they can join us in all the continuing conversation throughout the year," end quote.
We went behind the scenes of the play Red Speedo, a production coming to the Center of Theater Arts. The play Red Speedo centers around themes relevant in current news headlines and will help students gain a deeper understanding of pressure young people feel in America. The play begins its shows on October 10th and will run through the 13th. Tonight we have more information on President Trump's impeachment inquiry, as well as a story out of Virginia involving an ICE arrest.
Katie O'Keefe is here live in studio to tell us more. Katie?
News around the president's impeachment is exploding. And today, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says he was on the phone call with Ukraine. He said this out of a news conference this morning from Rome. And last night, Pompeo stopped House Democrats from removing 5 state officials. The House Democrats believe these officials were involved with the president's call in some way. Pompeo stopped the House Democrats by writing a letter to the House Foreign Affairs Committee chair saying, quote, "I am concerned with aspects of your request, described more fully below, that can be understood only as an attempt to intimidate, bully, and treat improperly the distinguished professionals of the Department of State, including several career Foreign Service officers," end quote. Pompeo did not elaborate more on the call. A Virginia police officer is suspended for turning in an illegal alien to ICE on Tuesday. The police officer was dispatched to a car accident in Fairfax County, Virginia on September 21st. The officer discovered one of the drivers did not appear in a court hearing for deportation. This morning on Fox and Friends, here's what former acting ICE Director Tom Homan has to say.
Here's a police officer responding to a traffic accident caused by an illegal alien that has no driver's license, has no insurance. He ran him through the system. There's an outstanding warrant from ICE because he's in the country legally. He's a fugitive from justice because he didn't show up in court. The cop was being a cop. And for the chief to suspend him, maybe the chief ought to remember what it's like to be a cop. Because the chief stopped being a cop and he made that decision. He became a politician.
The driver was released from federal custody and ordered to wear an ankle monitor. The chief has ordered an internal investigation. Kaylee and Joe, back to you at the desk.
When we come back, Luca Triant joins us with this week's weather forecast. Will the temperatures remain hot?
Plus, Carrie Golden joins us with an update on the ex-cop who shot her neighbor, and more in this week's National News Update. Don't go anywhere.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There are amazing things to discover in the forest.
Toothless, time to go! What you picking up on, bud?
It's a whole hidden world of wonders. And the perfect place to spend time with family. What better place to let your imagination soar? Experience nature and create a memory you can share. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
My car, I'm sorry, everybody.
Luca Triant has more for us on the weather update. Luke.
Hey guys, welcome to the weather forecast. We are seeing weird temperatures here in New Haven, but before we go to see what Quinnipiac's facing, let's go see what the rest of the state is facing right now. Between 9 and 10 o'clock, right around now, we do have a high in New Haven of 71, but across the state, we are seeing highs in the 60s, mid to high 60s. 71 here in New Haven, 69 in Danbury, 66 in Torrington, 67 in Hartford, 65 in Norwich, and 66 in New London. Weird temperatures across the board. Summer definitely is not over yet for us New Haveners near New Haven. Quinnipiac has been facing weird temperatures today, and we will go into that right in our 7-day forecast right here. As we discussed earlier in my tease, we did have a high of 85 today. Crazy temperatures, definitely a remnant of the summer. It is fall right now, but summer hasn't gone anywhere just yet. However, temperatures will dive tomorrow, Thursday, with a high of 52 and a low of 45, definitely signaling that fall is kind of here and here to stay. Friday, high of 62, low of 37. The lows are getting lower and lower, with the highs kind of staying a bit consistent now that we've dropped off from today. Saturday high of 60. It will be sunny. There is rain actually going to be happening in these next few days, so don't forget to bring a rain jacket or an umbrella just in case. But we are moving on to Sunday, definitely cloudy, 68 high, 64 low. A little difference there. Monday, once again, 68, low of 47, and on Tuesday, high of 67, low of 44. That's all I got for you guys. Enjoy the weekend. Back to the rest of the show at the desk.
Thanks, Luca. We have a national news update on the verdict of a woman who shot her neighbor.
That's right, Kaylee. We have Kerry Golden in the studio to tell us more. Kerry?
Thanks, guys. A verdict has been reached in the case with the ex-cop who claimed she mistakenly shot her neighbor. 31-year-old Amber Geiger was found guilty after entering her neighbor's home back in September of 2018 and mistook it for her own, then fatally shot him. Prosecutors argued that it was, quote, absurd to suggest she was in the wrong apartment. The jury took less than a day to come to their decision, and Geiger will face 10 years in prison. On a sad note, a 15-year-old dies, but in an effort to protect his sister. Police found the body of Kyler Edmond while searching homes in Florida. A burglar broke into their home on Thursday, and police say a, quote, violent encounter occurred inside. The suspect is known to law enforcement and has a history of drug use and was on probation at the time of the arrest. The suspect is being held on charges of theft, but has not yet been linked to the murder of the 15-year-old. A GoFundMe page has been since created to pay for Kyler's funeral expenses. And on a positive note, one Florida bar is giving back to hurricane relief victims. When the Siesta Key Oyster Bar saw the damage of Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas, they knew they had to act. Thousands of dollar bills lined the ceiling and walls, and the general manager decided to send it to help those victims. With 40 staff members, they were able to take down $13,961 to send to the Bahamas. All of the dollar bills had messages, and some had been up for years, but now they're going to a good cause. So it's good to see some good still in the world, right, Kaylee and Joe?
Yes, of course. Thanks, Carrie. When we come back, from the ice to the field, John Surratt gives us the inside scoop on all things Quinnipiac sports.
And learn more about a Hamden hotspot for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and late night snacks. Stay with us.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
While Hamden is cooling down, Quinnipiac sports are heating up. The Quinnipiac women's ice hockey team is heating up, but hopefully their ice doesn't melt. John Surratt has this week's update. John?
Thanks, guys. Now the fall season just starting, but Quinnipiac sports are heating up. Let's start with the women's ice hockey team. They started preseason play against Ryerson on Saturday. We start in the second period. Quinnipiac already up 3-0, but Ryerson makes a nice pass onto the right side of the ice and takes a shot, but goalie Logan Angers saves it. But a rebound for Emily Baxter goes past Angers to make it 3-1, and here gives Brooke Bonsteel to get her second goal of the game to make it 4-1, and at the end, Quinnipiac wins 5-1. Now staying on the ice, men's ice hockey USCHL preseason polls were released on Monday. Quinnipiac comes in at 8th on the poll. Reigning defending national champions Minnesota Duluth come in at first place. Denver, Minnesota State come in second and third respectively. National runner-ups in UMass come in at 4th place. And to round out the top 10, fellow ECAC foes in Clarkson come in at 10. Back to fall sports, women's soccer lost to the Rider Bronx on Saturday by a score of 2-0. Head coach Dave Clark talks postgame.
As I've been in previous games, upset in the sense of, all right, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. There's not much they can do better other than finishing in the performance. Keep playing like that, they'll pick up more points than they'll drop. Now the thing is, can we bounce back, turn in the same level of performance and pick up points if we can.
And that's all I have for sports. Back to you guys on the desk.
Thanks, John. Before we call it a night, Joe, I have a quick question for you. Where's your favorite place to eat in Hamden?
Ooh, that's definitely a tough one. I'm not sure.
Well, Olivia Schuler headed to a popular Hamden hotspot. Let's find out what makes this place so special.
Okay, all right, no problem.
Acropolis Diner, better known as A-Crop, has been family-owned for nearly 45 years.
When I was 10 years old, I would come in and do the register, clean tables, work with my father.
Paula Glulos' father owned the diner her entire childhood.
He liked, serving people, joking around with people. He was a people's person.
In 2006, Paula took over the restaurant with her sister-in-law, Christina.
Because we're like sisters.
And Quinnipiac students feel like family to the Guloses, too.
After hours, it's definitely all Quinnipiac, and we love it. It's a hustling, bustling place. It's really good.
But something about this diner keeps Quinnipiac students coming back for more.
The employees are awesome. It's a very friendly environment.
And students can count on the diner 24/7.
Many late nights have ended there. Many mornings have started there. You do your thing, you do your college thing, and you end up at A-Crop and you end up having a great time and having some great food.
The Gulos sisters are hoping the diner stays within the family forever. It'll be passed down to their 2 sons next. Olivia Schuler, Q30 News.
Well, Kaylee, it's sad to say that my first newscast as an anchor has come and gone, but I've definitely had a blast.
Well, we were happy to have you here with us, Joe. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook at Q30 News. And next Wednesday, we're taking things to social media due to Yom Kippur. Be sure to follow at Q30 Television on Instagram for the latest Quinnipiac and Hamden news. We'll see you right here 2 weeks from today.
For my co-anchor, Kaylee Heffler, I'm Joe LaGrippo. Good night, Quinnipiac.